now, me and my wife, this is the first time we've had 3 weeks in 43 years that we could actually just go spend me and her. So we just did a lot of me and her time, so.
Cool.
So you did a lot of shopping then?
Well, I'm very fortunate, my wife doesn't really shop that much.
Well, you're lucky.
But when she does shop, I know about it. Or I feel it, I should say.
That's how my neighbors know we're out of town. The Amazon truck's not in the front of the house.
I don't know that I would survive, or we would survive 3 weeks with just us two.
It is a
Nothing else
challenge.
going on. Yeah.
It is a challenge.
Like to call to order the July 28th, 2026 Public Works meeting. Roll call, please.
Brad Mitchell, Steve Struber,
Here.
Mike Radicich,
Here?
Bill Mayhew,
Here.
Steve Sulentrop, Tim Pepsel,
Here.
Robert Jasper,
Here.
Bill Dickinson.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, in your packets, you should have received the minutes from the June 23rd meeting. I'll accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, anyone? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, moving on. Kevin, we got any priority items?
No priority items this month, thankfully.
I guess I'll back up a little bit. We got two new guys over here on the other side.
Yes, we do.
Bill Dickinson, Robert Jasper. So thanks, guys, for volunteering.
Yep, thank you very much. Welcome aboard.
Try to keep it short usually.
We usually do.
Wastewater?
Yes, we have a request to pay for a pump repair for our Walnut Street lift station. We have two pumps that run mainly through the lift station. We have one storm pump. It's a big pump that we run through. We have one pump that's what we call a spare, a backup pump. We had to use that backup pump to replace this pump that had to be repaired because it took on, we're not sure if it was a rock or whatever, and broke the impeller, so we had to have it repaired. So it's completed, just asking for approval to proceed for payment on it. It is budgeted in the equipment repair and maintenance line item, so,
And that's the $23,000?
yes, $23,000.
I'll move we pay it or send it on to council.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, move on from that. Anything else in wastewater?
Yes, so at the treatment plant, I think we had discussed this several months ago. We had four, I say had because we're not using them anymore, 4 flow meters on the influence side that monitor all the inflow into the treatment plant. As we all know, the treatment plant's now 18 years old, roughly 18 years old. So things are starting to fail, and we'll notice that in the near coming future when we have to replace VFDs or continue replacing them, heating and cooling systems and everything else that's going on down there. Ultraviolet's starting to fail, it's gonna have to be replaced, and we're probably looking at about $230,000 for that. So it's not, it's expensive. But anyway, so we had 4 flow meters in there that had failed. And we opted to go away from the flow meters and go to inline channel laser metering. We have that installed and it's currently working, and it appears to be working in the proper manner it's supposed to. So anyway, that's something that you guys had approved several months ago. It just took that long to get it done, so we got that up and running, so down there. And we have to monitor our influent flow to report to the DNR, so that's why it's important, so.
Water.
Okay, water. All right, as you all know, we're in the budget process right now, and in doing the budget, it appears that we may have to do a water rate increase to maintain staying in the black. We can expect to see for this upcoming year, with the way everything is going on anywhere from a 20 to a 60% increase in operational costs of things that we buy, driven by the fuel costs, the delivery costs, the manufacturing costs, which entails labor and everything else. Everything's just going up. So our rate increase that we started in 2020, which took effect in 21, or we approved in 2020, took effect in 21, is not keeping up with the rate of cost of operation. So we are working in staff to try and figure out what that number might look like. We don't know what it's gonna look like yet. We're trying to tighten the budget as tight as we can and still be able to maintain and not shoot ourselves in the foot. But we're working with finance and administration. We will be having a meeting on August 10th, I do believe it is, to have a big discussion over it. So by the end of, by August meeting, I should have something to you guys.
Kevin and I were on, didn't we have a cost of living?
We added
Increase
a,
it
we
now,
added a
right?
CPI,
Yeah.
a St. Louis CPI. The first 2 years, it was pretty good. The CPI, if I'm ballparking it here, was around 5 to 6%. This year it's projected to be like 2%. So when you have that kind of a fluctuation in CPI, and we have the fluctuation in the cost of operations as heavy as we've had, it's just not keeping up.
Okay.
So we have to address it. We have to figure out what the best avenue is and what's the best for all of us residents, because I'm a resident of the city of Washington, and I don't want to have to pay a higher rate, but if we have to maintain and stay in the black, we're gonna have to. We won't have any choice, but we'll do whatever we can to keep it as tight as we can and not just throw a random number out there, so. But it looks like there's gonna have to be some kind of an increase. It's just gonna have to happen. We don't like that discussion, but it's gonna have to happen, so. It's just a kind of a heads up about it, just to let you all know it's in the works. But there'll be more information to follow on that.
2000 was the last, 20 was the last rate increase.
Yeah, 20 was the last rate. So what we did was in 20 was, we didn't touch the base rate, which stayed at $7 a month. And we just bumped up the usage fees by, I don't remember the exact percentage, to get it up a little bit, and then we added a CPI to it, thinking that would be enough of an adjustment to keep it going. First couple of years, it looked good. It was working. But, you know, using the CPI is off of the economic growth and all the expansion of everything, how things go. You see that drop and decline, and we're seeing that now, so. We have to come up with something else. Did a lot of looking out at other communities. We are still within the 7-town area around here, the lowest water rates in Franklin County and Warren County. It's just something we're gonna have to do.
I have a question, I guess. You knew I was gonna get in sooner or later, right? You talk about the stuff at treatment plant and HVAC and this and that. Do you have like a 5-year and 10-year expected, hey, we're gonna replace that HVAC in 2032? Is
Yes, we do. We run a 10-year budget.
Okay.
And then that's budgeted out what we do. The problem with the treatment plant is, if you try to budget when everything's gonna fail, you're gonna be looking at a several $1 million. And so we try to just work it. Basically, if something starts to fail, we try to anticipate it failing, and we plan to try and buy that. The problem is that everything that we're buying now is seeing that 20 to 60% increase. So no matter what we budgeted from last year to this year, we're already starting to notice that it wasn't even enough. We did, you know, we try to generally do like a 3% increase, which has always been a good number to use in the past to use that with, but with the way things are going now, it's really tough. So we do the best we can at trying to anticipate what's going to happen. But when you have so many things, we have 15 PLCs down there that are 18 years old. We've already lost 2 of them, so I'm anticipating at least 1 or 2 going out this year, and hoping we don't have 4 go out. You know, that's kind of how we're floating right now. So. But yes, we do run a 10-year budget to try and anticipate costs and, yeah, so it's,
Current cost of replacement's what's
yeah, is what's really hitting us now. Maybe in 2 years or 3 years or next year, which I don't see happening, but it may get better, but usually when it goes up, we don't see that decline. So we have to anticipate that happening, and so we're gonna have to build our revenues up to keep that up, because we are governed by the Department of Natural Resources and the EPA to manage because we're enterprise funds fiscally, which means we cannot run in the red. If we run in the red, then they will step in and say, okay, what are you doing wrong? And then they will govern then what happens with the city on rates and things like that. So we don't want that to happen. We try to anticipate that and stay ahead of it, so.
Are we anticipating a growth on that plant because of the growth of the immediate area that we service?
We are seeing some growth, but it's users are an interesting thing. Us as users are interesting. When we get our first water bill, we look at it and go, oh, that's not bad, because it's usually not the most accurate because you haven't been here long. You get your next water bill, and you use a little bit more water, and you think, okay, that's not bad. And as we use more water, we realize that, oh, we're using, and we cut back. Well, anytime we cut back on using water, which is what we try to promote, preservation of water, that's a revenue drop, because we rely on water usage as our only income for the water and wastewater departments. So, yeah, we're seeing more homes coming in, but we're not seeing a lot of multifamily, 6 or 5 or 6, or it's usually just 2 people, which use, most of the time, 2 people use about 5,000 gallons of water a month, roughly. And so that's not a big income growth when you look at it. Everybody's like, oh, we got a big growth, we're 7% increase in homes. Well, yeah, but we're not seeing that 7% increase in water consumption and revenue, because they're not coming in and using, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 gallons of water. Most of them are using 5,000 gallons or thereabouts somewhere. That's kind of the average of Washington, is about 5,000 gallons. So, so a lot of people use a lot more. A lot of people, so it's. But yeah, we try to look at the numbers and say, okay, we're going to get this many homes, but it's not that much of a growth when you look at the dollar amount on the revenue side. So.
But there's no plan at this point to expand the sewer plant, or is there?
No, not at this point. So with the expansion of the sewer plant, so as we all know, it's a 4 million gallon plant designed to expand to 6. We won't have to look at expanding the treatment plant until we get to 85% capacity at the plant. That would be about 3.2 million, right around, or somewhere in the threes. We're running right now at about 1.8, 1.9. So we still have, even with the growth that we've had in Washington, it's not like it's pushed us to the limit on our treatment plant. We kind of built that looking ahead as to what the growth could be. We know how much users the area we can take in as an area, so we kind of knew roughly how much we was going to do. Now, what can really affect that is our industrial park. If we have a big user, which would be good for the economy, a big user come in and need, let's say, 2 million gallons of water a day, a food processing plant would be a big one. 2 million gallons of water a day, we'd be able to provide that water, but we would also get 2 million gallons, or there somewhere abouts, of sewage coming back to the plant. So we got to watch that when things come in, and then you got to look at, okay, you can do things to make that industry have to help some of the cost of the expansion of the plant, things like that. But
Right.
we're not seeing that right now, so we just watch it real close, and whenever we have somebody interested, and Aaron does a good job of letting me know, so we can kind of look ahead and stuff, but, yeah, so.
Okay. You have on here, discuss the half-cent sales tax.
Yeah, so as we all know, we built a new tank out there on South Point Road. When we started the plan of building that tank, the cost of a water tank was about $1 a gallon to build it. So about a million gallon tank, it was about $1 million. When we finally started building the tank, that cost went from $1 to $2 and roughly 50 cents a gallon to build the tank. So the tank ended up being about $2.4 million to build it. There was, in the current half-cent sales tax, touchy subject, current half-cent sales tax, $800,000 earmarked for the water department for the tank. through negotiations with the previous administrator and everything, in his opinion, and I'm not arguing with it or anything, he felt that the water and wastewater departments should be self-funded as enterprise funds by water sales and not by anything else. So he opted to not pull it, because you can't technically pull the half cent sales tax, but to divert it to other needs. We're sitting at, right now, at about a $500,000 deficit in the water department because of that tank. And we did get roughly $1 million from the county with the stimulus package that they did, give us about $1 million. But we're still about $500,000 short. So I'm gonna send a letter to the council requesting that they earmark at least $500,000 out of that previous $800,000 to offset our deficit as it was planned originally with the half cent sales tax. Let you guys know and let you see, we have your permission to proceed with that letter, because you guys do govern the water and wastewater departments, so I gotta get your permission to do that, so. It's needed. We'll see what
So
happens.
you need a motion?
Just a motion to
Well,
proceed with the letter.
I make a motion that we proceed with the letter.
Okay.
Second.
How far into the process when that 800,000 got pulled? I mean,
It was just in the last, I wanna say 4 months.
okay, so I mean, we.
It wasn't in the beginning, let's
No,
put it that way.
yeah.
No, it
We-
was.
Okay, and it got
Yeah,
pulled at the
yes.
last minute on
Just like
us.
we have money in the half cent sales tax for wastewater for slip lining. We still have that money. They didn't pull that, but
But
they,
they, yeah,
they
okay,
wanted to
so,
pull the 800,000, which I can understand it. I understand it, but the problem is we are now in a need of that money, and that is the only funding that the enterprise funds could receive without needing to pay it back. If we get any other money, we have to pay it back. The half cent sales tax is the only one.
Gotcha.
That because it was earmarked for that we could use for that, so.
Is that $500,000 shortfall part of the increase in water, or reasoning for the increase in water?
No, that is just the increase of the cost of the tank to
Just the
build
tank.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. if
Separate
that was
separate
all
from
tied in.
the
Right,
the
okay.
standard operational side. That is just the cost to build the tank from the time we designed it or planned on building it
Got it.
to the point of actual construction.
Okay.
That's how volatile the water and wastewater industry can be, is it just doesn't take a year or two and boom, next thing you know, it's doubled. So, but yeah,
yeah, that's,
so,
So we had a motion and a second, so I'd say proceed with that, Kevin.
yes.
Any other business?
No, everything's, I always hate saying this, going good. We got our standard stuff we're doing, fixing some curb stops, things like that, we're responsible for that we know don't work, so we're out working on that. Right now, this time of year, we kind of do a step back and maintain rather than, we're so close to the end of the budget year, we don't do a lot of big projects, because by the time you start them and you try to get them paid for, you're rolling into the next budget year, and it becomes a paperwork nightmare, so we kind of hold off the last 3 months and just go to the maintenance mode of things, so that's where we're at now.
Old business. Other than that, next scheduled meeting be Tuesday, August 25th, 7:30 here. Take a motion to adjourn.
I mean, move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. See you next month.
Sign that one, I forgot to do one. And then I think.
Thanks for being here, guys.
I mean, now I'm gonna be at work on time.
Get there anyway.
Other than you lost some funds and you're short on some funds, this seems like.
And you guys always have an opportunity to ask questions, by all means.
Yeah.
If you ever got any questions, ask them.
Will do. Will do.
Now, next month might be a little bit longer if we have to discuss rates and things like that, it'll be a little bit longer, more maybe, but